1, 2, 3. The team in the back. Thank you. We will begin this edition of the FP2 Awards in 5 minutes. Hello everyone and welcome to this new edition of the FP2 Awards, a moment of recognition, inspiration and shared commitment. Today we are proud to celebrate the passion of innovation of outstanding talents from world-renowned institutions, the University di Bologna, l'École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, Politecnico di Milano, TU Delft, and the University of Technology of Troyes. Now I'd have the pleasure of welcoming Jérémy Lagarrigue, Head of International Jury, to the stage.
Thank you. Sorry for the waiting, but you know that we might have a specific guest coming soon, at least downstairs, maybe here. So very happy and glad to be with you. Very happy to be the chairman and with that high quality jury. As you know, today and tomorrow we will try to give some difference in between some very inspiring solution in order to try to push the boundaries and offer a solution of decarbonization and give a better world for the next generation. What is very important today as a Prince Albert II Foundation, I think Salome will give you a few words in a second, but as a jury we will try to give you some key message. Please give us the image about what you have in your heart, what you want to realize, what you want to achieve. We need to understand and we need to feel that. The second one, it has to be a real innovation. You really have to explain what is the innovation. And the third one is you really have to explain the go-to-market strategy. We have to understand why and what is the process about this innovation, your idea, will be able to go on the market and why this will be better than another one. It is very important for us because we have some graduation depending on the sensation of the jury. Sometimes we can give a better graduation on the worst depending on the team, but it's really the kind of message we can share with you. Try to be as clear as possible to give us a clear message, and that will be easier for us to try to set what is the team that deserves the most the prize this year. Another time, congratulations for what we have seen, because we are now the fourth finalist, or the fifth finalist, sorry, of the Foundation Principal FP2 Awards Foundation. And just looking forward to see you soon. I think, Salome, maybe you can give a bit more the spirit and why we have the FP2 Foundation supporting the Yacht Club of Monaco with this very specific prize and huge awards for the university. You can applaud Salome because...
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jérémy. It's a pleasure to be here today. So I'm here to represent the FPAII, so the Fondation Prince Albert II de Monaco in French. Let's do it like that. It's a pleasure to see all the students that make the candidature, make the effort to present their project here today. We're really looking forward to hear about your project, the spirit about your project. What, as Jérémy said, you're trying to achieve with this project. So to talk a bit about the spirit of this award, the foundation is really about the protection of the environment and the sustainability and the innovation, what we can do in the future to have a better world, a healthy environment, healthy planet. And the yachting industry and the work that you're doing as engineer is a big part of the future that we want to have for a better planet. So we really hope with your presentation to get your inspiration toward your project, understand what you want to do with it and build towards after, once you're not going to be a student anymore, but if you want to project this project as a company, maybe has something that you want to launch. So we're really looking forward to hear about your innovation and how you're going to build this innovation for the next step. Thank you.
Thank you, Salome and Jérémy. for these very inspiring 3 awards. So, as a reminder, this award is dedicated to recognizing and supporting outstanding initiatives by universities and research institutes presented during the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge. The winning organization will receive a grant of €25,000 to further develop and implement their solutions. So now, I'd like to introduce the past winners of last year's FPA2 awards. So let's introduce Synergy. Synergy built the legacy of past editions on groundbreaking works who set remarkable precedents and continues to inspire this new generation of change makers. So if we could welcome Synergy to the stage to share a few words with us.
This one? Okay.
No, on the table.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alessandro, and founder of Synergy H2 project. And today I'm gonna introduce you to what we have done throughout the whole year after winning the last edition of the FPA2 award. So for the ones that are not accustomed with our project, so it's the first time that you're hearing from us, Synergy H2 project aims to push the boundaries of hydrogen-powered leisure boating by building a PEM fuel cell system up for this kind of application using proprietary technologies. So here, let's see a sneak peek of what we brought with us today on this table. So this is a concept stack that can be expandable up to 30 cells that was carved out by aluminum bipolar plates that were used on our testing phase. So it's a reminder to all of you that we are building something that can be really used, really tested, and also expandable from the beginning, okay? So this is Akka Proto. But let's dive deep in what we had done throughout the whole year, from last summer up to now. So last summer, we applied for the Switch to Product 2025 Accelerator Program from Polyhub, that is the startup incubator from Politecnico di Milano. Then we carried out some improvements on our modeling process, and also we have been enabled to access some vital facilities for our testing phase. Then we designed our first sensing board for the balance of stack, our modular testing tool that was expanded here in Akka Proto. Then we also carried out an important phase of participating in nautical sector events, co-hosting sector events, and also building our own brand identity to convey our mission effectively. Also, we did a lot of research in the membrane production with one of our most important partners, and then we are here, okay? We assembled the hardware, okay, both the modular testing tool and the balance of stack PCB. So, diving deep in Switch to Product. What is Switch to Product? We enrolled in this accelerator program in September 2024, and we ended up the accelerating program a month ago, okay, so June 2025. During the Switch to Product, we carried out a jobs to be done assessment very thoroughly to understand what the market needs effectively from our system. Okay. Then we identified the market and adopters of the ideal market and adopters for our technology, and we built a solid, unique value proposition and business model. Okay. Then we validated this business model in a get out of the building fashion. So we introduced ourselves. We did interviews with with the stakeholders of the market, and as we did research on the market, our target market, so our obtainable market, was identified in electric powertrain boats with motor power under 150 kilowatts.
Thank you. I'm Enrico. I'm co-founder of Synergy. For us, it's very important to have a great relationship with the Politecnico of Milan for our research purposes. We currently have full access to the high-performance computing facility of the CFD hub in Polimi, and also the MRT fuel cell and battery lab. The P&I system that we've validated with the PhysisPEB catamaran and that experience gave us the field data to validate our models. Further simulation on the bipolar plate geometry confirmed the numbers we provided last year. And our stack clamping model enables us to build very powerful tools for testing. From our last year experience, we've noticed that it's extremely important to have a good balance of stack. So we have built our own electronics that can be expandable to not only where it is installed now, this small scale fuel cell, but to fuel cell with up to 60 plates. We have up to 60 voltage and temperature inputs. We have internal logging and AI powered fault prediction, and a full balance of stack. We are adaptable to any industry standards. This board can be used in laboratory environments, can be installed in the field directly, and it has a very low cost of production. We're talking much lower than what usually you can find in the market. We're talking about 90 euros per unit if we decide to come in the market and sell this kind of mass-produced boards.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo, co-founder of Synergy. So from February 2025, we start designing our modular experimental tool that enable us to study different bipolar plates geometries. It also integrates IT hardware to sense the temperature inside the cells, and also enables us to expand the stack up to 30 cells. Also, 3D printing also helps us to reduce the cost price of the production. Since now we are using 2,000 euros per unit, but we are figuring to exploit much the market solution.
Hello everyone, I'm Francesco, CMO of Synergy, and between April and May 2025, we focus on our brand identity, a strong and clear concept based on deep tech aesthetic, striking a balance between technology and sustainability, and capable of communicating our mission and our roots. We co-hosted the Polimi Nautical Hub with PhysisPEB this year, and in Q3 of 2025, we drafted our marketing plan. Regarding our partnership, they are divided into technology, not power H, and technical, Swagelok Italy branch and Loctite.
Okay, so from May 2025 to June 2025, we have had access to the Green Hydrogen Platform Labs in ScienceCo. That is our main sponsor, that has the main buildings in Bollate. There we produce our CCM, that are the catalyst-coated membranes, that are composed by the electrode and the aqueous membrane ionomer. The production is divided in the electrode preparation, the electrode coating, then the laser cutting of the electrode, and then the hot pressing of the CCM, so the electrode and the membranes. In June 2025, instead, we start to assemble our experimental tool that you can see also here, that is composed by our end plates, then the current plate, and then our bipolar plates that are in graphite, and then the membrane that we produce at ScienceQuo. This enables us to validate also the clamping model that we studied in the previous months. And also we are now conducting the sealing tests that are still ongoing. The budget of this year, so from 2024 to 2025, was based on the FPAII award and from ScienceQuo sponsorship, so 20K and 50K from respectively. From the FPAII, we used 14% of the budget in fitting and equipment for the P&I, then also shipping and customization products, the sensing board that you can also see there, and also the bipolar plates and the installation course of hydrogen for having much knowledge about hydrogen, of course. And the testing tool, of course, the end plates are the main cost.
Okay, so right now I will give you an outline of what will be our roadmap from now on for the next 2-3 years. Okay, so you have seen that we already have envisioned a reduced scale stack that can be mounted on board of small scale power boats like this that can be expanded to a 3 kilowatt stack, and it is AK Proto. In the very next future, like in this June, we are carrying out our testing campaign, finalizing our testing campaign and patent application, both on the bipolar plates and the ECU. Then we are going to participate in an important Confindustria of Varese business project that will comprise business and matchmaking opportunities with over 400 companies. Then in 2026, after AK Proto will be finalized, we aim at incorporating our spin-off hub, and then start a really push our fundraising capital raise. Okay, the fundraising will be completely devoted to implementing what is our real vision of the future of sustainable boating, which will be the AKPEM fuel cell system. Okay. In particular, throughout 2026 and 2037, we aim at build a 10 kilowatts, our 10 kilowatts minimum value proposition, AK10, that will be especially designed for the future of boating and retrofitting applications on leisure boats. Then we plan to install on board our MVP at the 2028 Monaco Energy Boat Challenge edition. Okay, on a Sea Lab / Open Sea power boat from the Polimi student team FPAII. And then after our real condition demo, we aim at launch our product, our range of products in the market entry. So this is our vision for the future of sustainable boating. As you can see, this is AK10, so our 10 kilowatts product. You can see in the table some of the specs, but I don't want to emphasize this, but what is our vision, okay? We are talking about a full integrated system that can be retrofitted on boats, installed on brand new boats, that comprises of a lot of IP content, like the bipolar plates with the proprietary geometry, the proprietary ECU, and all the framing and attachment to the boat structure. Okay. This is our, we carried out, thanks to Switch product, as I mentioned, a really thorough financial ask, okay, for the future. And based on a cost breakdown, let's say a level 1 cost breakdown, so basically with a contingency of 40% on each segment that represent the whole cost of the development, we calculated that we need 285,000 euros for implementing the whole system from scratch, based on what we had done this year. Okay, and this is a seed stage financial ask, so it's not for launching the product on the market, it's for developing our first prototype, and all the research and development will be carried out at the Politecnico research labs. This is our team. As you can see, we space from engineering, design, and computer science. And these are our advisors and mentors. We already got a crew of advisors and mentors, like professors from Politecnico, and also external advisors and managing partner at energy consulting industries. So I'm done, and I'm open to answer all the questions that you got.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for the job done since last year. I understood, if I understand correctly, you are going in the seed process now, looking for money. You just introduced your team. It's quite strange not having a CFO. So what's your idea about this question?
We are currently, this summer, as we have done in April, okay, we'll be expanding our team also on financial matters, because I don't think that we are the experts about this. So we are going to integrate a new figure inside the team.
Okay, and maybe another thing, because I just made some raising fund in my previous career, so maybe you can Americanize a bit the pitch in order, to be a bit more pushy, saying that that's the clear impact, that has a clear need, it's a real impact, that's why it's very unique. If you want to raise some money, you need to be a bit more aggressive compared to the jury we are from the Fondation Prince Albert II, a bit more, okay, these are engineers, we are supporting the engineers, but now if you are going into the business world, you need to be a business guy. So we need to feel energy, we need to feel what we need to invest in you, in the team, in the company, in the project. Okay, that's really a need,
yeah.
And we need to feel this energy. Anyway, congratulations for the job done, and looking forward to see the next step. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Synergy, for continuing to raise the bar and inspire future innovators. Now I would like to welcome l'École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne to the stage. So please welcome that team.
Just a question, do you have le clicker? Ouais, je crois. Le clicker. Ah non, c'est tout bon. Je mets de l'autre côté. Ouais, si tu veux. Il faut que tu restes pas loin de moi aussi. Pour... C'est tout bon? So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Maël. I am the president of Swiss Solarboat, a Swiss student association. And today, alongside Wissam, our CTO, we are here to present our project and latest project and prototype, the REF, which stands for Renewable Energy Foiler. So to give you a bit of context, if you don't know us, our first boat is the DAU. And Swiss Solar Boat was founded on 4 key pillars. The first one is about hands-on education and also learning by doing. The second one is about pushing a bit, experimenting new kind of technologies to push innovation. The third one is about contributing to a sustainable mobility in maritime sector. And the last one is about pushing to have changes both for technical and behavioral mindsets. With all of this, it brought us to the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge in 2021 and 2022, where we had the chance of competing for the solar class, and we had quite great results, as you can see, because we reached the podium, and we also received the Eco-Conception Award. And all of this is great for us because it allowed us to gain experience on PV panels, on foils, on control, on batteries, and so on. So everything of that was to set the basis for a next project. But when we went in Monaco, we saw one big limitation, which was the boat's autonomy, because we only had solar panels. And this is why we decided to shift a bit and focused on a new energy vector to add to the project, which is hydrogen. Everybody knows about hydrogen. And it's really interesting for us because it has a much higher energy density. So it allowed us to have more density on board and being able to do longer distances, which is more aligned with the sector when you think about leisure boats and also maritime sector. And it made sense to focus on that because the DAU could serve as a small-scale prototype for developing a new project, which is the REF, for Renewable Energy Foiler, as I said before. And the idea with the REF is not just to build a prototype, it's also to think a bit beyond the boat and to see what kind of projects it can bring. And for that, the REF will be a demonstrator for vehicle-to-grid technologies, for autonomous harbor, and also to have a replicable model that can fit also for the industry.
So, as Maël said, the autonomy of the boat was one of the limitations we had. Therefore, we had to implement a hydrogen range extender to triple the autonomy of the boat, on a boat that was not designed for this. So we have worked on retrofitting of boats. Therefore, the DAU serves us as a testing platform to gain experience on hydrogen, but also on an energy mix. And this is very good for us because it helps us for the new project that is bigger, so the REF. To conclude this chapter on the DAU, we had done the crossing of the lake from Lausanne to Evian, the crossing of the Lake Geneva, sorry. A 13-kilometer crossing that represents 40% of Lake Geneva maritime traffic. But why have we chosen this route, this particular route? In fact, on Lake Geneva, French people living at the border are working in Lausanne, and 75% of them are taking the car instead of the boat to cross the lake. So the solution we had with the DAU shows potential solutions for the future on Lake Geneva for a real problem. Moreover, we have done a sustainable mobility case on this route from Lausanne to Evian that has showed a reduction of 93% kilogram CO2 equivalent if you use a boat equipped with a fuel cell instead of your diesel car. The capacity of the boat is 500 persons. So this is the new project, the REF. Here are some key facts you need to know. So it has 3 passengers, a top speed of 35 knots, a cruising speed of 25, an autonomy of 200 to make the roundabout of Lake Geneva, still on the hydrofoils, and it will be hybrid with solar and green energy. The goal of this boat is to be applicable to the real world, to maritime transport of people.
So talking a bit about the energy on board, it's interesting to see that we can mix a bit every kind of energies when it's done smartly. So the idea for us is to have 2 voltage levels on the boats. We have a high voltage level for the high voltage battery, the hydrogen systems, and also the propulsion motors. And we have a low voltage level on the boats for the PV panels, for the low voltage battery, and also all the subsystems. And by mixing a bit all of these kind of energies, we do what we call an energy mix, which allows us to increase, in fact, optimize the energy efficiency of the boat, so we are more efficient. And everything is great about that, but when you see, okay, we have a fuel cell, we have a hydrogen on board, that's great, but because it has a much higher energy density, why do you keep solar panels? And here is why. We did a feasibility study here at EPFL with an autonomous harbor, just like that. And we saw when doing this study that leisure boats are used only 50 to 100 hours per year only, which is just like 1% of the time. That's insane. And for the remaining 99% of the time, we could also think of harvesting the PV panel's energy and feed it back into the grid in order to have a more circular approach and shift from individual mindset to a more ecosystem-based approach. Everything about that is also great. We are talking about energy, but energy efficiency optimization alone is not enough to make a real change. And for that, we also need to consider what kind of materials do we choose and how we build, and especially when talking about composites.
So the production phase is really important in the total environmental impact of the boat, as nowadays we can have zero emission technologies during the use phase, and this is particularly the case for composite production. From the previous boat we have done the LCA on the dayus using marine shift, and we have seen that carbon fiber is the main factor on which we have to improve for better environmental impact. This is why we have made a study before designing our new boat, to choose the material that will be used. And we have done a comparison between, on the left, a full carbon fiber boat, and on the right, a full plywood boat. And we can directly see in blue that the full carbon fiber boat has a terrific environmental impact in comparison to the wood one. And for sure, on the weight, it's clearly the opposite. This is why we came with a hybrid solution. Why not using the both? So for the next boat, we will have marine plywood as the core of the sandwich and carbon fibers for the two skins. This allows us an increase in 50% in the total weight in comparison to the carbon fiber one. But this is very small in comparison to the CO2 reduction we have, that is 85%. Oh. There's a little problem with the slides. Without? Okay. Normally I should show you some pictures of the production we have done last summer. It was a 75 production done by the students, where I could show you the scaffold we have used, because the boat has a moldless production, as we use the core of the sandwich not only as the core, but also as part of the mold for the vacuum resin infusion. This allows us to reduce the environmental impact. Normally I had an image to show you the final result, but I will show it to you next year when we'll come at the competition.
Thank you. So when building those kind of prototypes, you can say, okay, we have a boat, that's great, and now we can go on the water, and that's great too. But for us, it was more than building just a boat. The idea was to think a bit broader, with a broader vision. And for us, what is really important with those kind of projects, it's also to have a shift in the mindset. And this is why we have discussed with local authorities, with students, alumni, and also industrial partners. And as you know, there is a quote, famous quote, which is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And this is a bit the mindset we have. And by joining all of the local authorities, students, industrial partners and so on. The idea is to build just an ecosystem, and an ecosystem is really important in those kind of applications. And this is why we have co-organized the Lausanne Nautic Innovation Days, which is an event that will take place in October in Switzerland. And the idea here is to have an event on 2 days that will bring key players, like key foiling boats, zero-emission boats, to have a competition on the lake, like a Lehman Crossing Challenge. We will also have conferences, and we already did some workshops to work on key bottlenecks and to find all together solutions, not on our own, but to have a more broader force to bring to make changes. And with these Lausanne Nautic Innovation Days, what is really interesting too is that we are in Lausanne, so we have the Ouchy Harbour here in Lausanne, and this harbour is being renovated. So it will be a quite long-term, short-term project, but the idea with that is to take advantage of the renovation of the harbour to being able to test some vehicle-to-grid projects, some autonomous harbor projects, and being able to have all of these infrastructure as a demonstrator for what we can do to change really the sector, the maritime sector, and make it more sustainable. So this is why we have created all of these ecosystem. And what is important for us with that is to show you that, as always, we design a boat to compete in the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, and that's super nice. But it's also important now to think not only of the boat, but beyond the boat too. And by bringing all key players like that with us, being able to grow like a local ecosystem that will be an international ecosystem, it made relevance. We had a small business plan to show you really quickly. The idea was just to show you that we have the ship sector for the hybrid ships and also electric ships. And when you see the compound annual growth rate, it's more than 10% by 2023. So it's important to say that there is a shift, there is a broader opportunity for business also. And what we can do as business side is also relevant for Monaco. Because if you think of Monaco and what we can bring, we can think about like small scale ref prototypes as a startup. We can also bring like retrofit kits that can help also for yachting sector and yachts that we can implement on it. You had also with the Yacht Club the initiative of the green ponton, and this is interesting also now to think about vehicle to grid also to integrate that and have some autonomous harbor modules that we can bring. And the last one is about the ecosystem that we have with the Lausanne Nautic Innovation Days, because as we have a broader ecosystem that is growing, we see also synergies with Monaco to exchange on really hard topics, on bottlenecks, and being able all together to make a change in that sector. And I just want to say, to finish this presentation, that you told us and asked us to speak with our hearts. We are 80 students super motivated to make a real change in this world. We know that we have our impact. Sometimes somebody can talk, okay, maybe it's a bit small, maybe it's a bit bigger, but the idea for us is just to say that we want to make a change. It's a huge cost for us as students, benevals, just to work on those kind of projects, but we see really the impact with the conversations ongoing. We see that we really are moving and are bringing something new that is really interesting in this sector, and we want you to be on board for that. So thanks a lot.
Do we have some question? As always, I have. Well, first, congratulations, because we know that you are a very good team. You are developing something very amazing, and what all the steps you are defining is exactly what we all need to do. I'm sorry to go a bit straight to the point, but if you have this 25,000 euro grant, what are you going to do? Because we see at least 4 projects. And for us, if we want to really fill the paper we have in front of us, we need to understand one.
The idea for us is that we are currently producing the ref, so it's under production, and it will come back to Monaco 2026 with the prototype. And to finish this prototype, we are looking for 30K. So it's for finishing our financial support. And if we have that, we know that we are cool to be there here in Monaco next year. So this is why it's important for us.
Okay. Second question, go-to-market strategy, which we do not see in your presentation.
Yeah, because we don't have the final presentation here, I don't know why. But the idea for us is to say that we have a lot of different kind of technologies that we can promote with the go-to-market strategy. So in a way, retrofit kits are the more important thing we can bring to the yacht club, and broader, like just to put that on existing solution, existing boats, and bring some new technologies inside it. But we also have discussed about a calculator. The idea with the calculator during the workshop that we discussed is to have a model that can give you the best energy mix you can do for your boat and your type of applications. And that could be a recurring model, giving a great go-to-market strategy, because always people are like, okay, I've got a boat, I don't know what to do with that. So if I've got the retrofit kit and I've got a calculator, for example, I know what kind of technologies I need to implement on it, and I don't waste time and energy. So for us, the big go-to-market strategy is to come also with those kind of first open source things we are discussing now to promote that into a business model.
Thank you. Do we have another one? Congratulations.
Thank you for the attention. Thank you.
So thank you to the EPFL team for their forward-thinking innovation. I apologize, we do have a couple technical problems. Hopefully we can get that fixed. If I can have an answer from the... C'est bon. C'est bon. Ah mince, excusez-moi, j'ai... Pardon. Bon, ben on va... If I could welcome the University of Technology of Troyes to the stage, please.
Test. Ah voilà. It's good. Okay, so hello. What? Oh. Okay, perfect. No. Okay, it's good. Okay, so hello. My name is Ilyes Kamoun. I'm here with Clément Anctil, and we are the founders of Q-Energy. First of all, I want to thank the organizers and the foundation for this event, because as students, it's through opportunities like this that we can grow. Not only as entrepreneurs, but also as people. Of course, we are learning. Right now, we are learning. Also, we are connecting and we are living meaningful experiences. So, we are both 20 years old, and we are mechanical engineering students from the University of Technology of Troyes in France. And as every engineer, we enjoy tackling real-world challenges. And there is one issue in particular that deeply matters to us. For example, when you put 10,000 liters of fuel into a boat or any thermal engine, you have to know that this is about 7,000 liters that are lost. They are lost as heat. Sometimes this heat is for sure used, for example, to warm a cabin, but in general, it is lost. The majority is lost. In a boat, for instance, the exhaust gases can reach 400 to 500 degrees, and they are cold before being released. Then the result is that we are dumping into nature an energy sources that we could have put to good use. On top of that, maritime transport has a big impact on our world, on the environment, and therefore on our future. To give you an idea, it represents 2 to 3% of global CO2 emissions. This is the equivalent of a country like Germany. Also, there is the impact on marine biodiversity, the water pollution, and there is also a high cost because fuel is a fossil energy and his price keeps going up. Imagine everything that is around you, that comes from the US, that comes from China, will see their price and their transport being more and more expensive. But the market, he knows that. We are already talking about an energy transition with hydrogen, of course. We talk also about new fuels, but let's be honest, it will take time. It will take time and money, and that's what we have less and less. So, just imagine. Imagine a solution that could speed up the energy transition while keeping a respect of the environment, also of the economy, and keeping the aestheticism of a boat, because it is important. So, what if we could use a technology that can recover thermal waste from an engine and turn it into useful energy? An energy that can reduce CO2 emissions and make fuel costs lower. Also, what if we could manage to produce more energy than a solar panel or a wind turbine, but keeping the aestheticism, keeping the spirit of the object, the boat? That is what Geoenergy is proposing. This is our vision. With Geoenergy, we are proposing a technology directly inspired by Stirling engine. We are using the temperature differences with a cold and a hot source to produce energy. But more concretely, what we are doing is to recover the wasted heat from the exhaust gases, so we can recover the wasted heat and produce electric energy. The result is that we are making the efficiency of the engine better. Even theoretically, we can doubling it. We can doubling it and do the same with the reduce of CO2 emissions. But I want to talk also about money. For example, if you take a boat, 80 meters large, the consumption per year will be around 100,000 euros. But let's not forget, the efficiency of an engine of the boat is 30%. It means that this is 70,000 euros that are lost as heat. And that's where Geoenergy comes in. Because with Geoenergy, instead of paying per year 1,000 euros, it will be 65,000 euros. But yeah, you have to pay for a module Geoenergy. And for an 80-meter boat, it will be around 50K. It means that in 1 year, 1 year and a half, it will be paid for itself. So, after that, it will be pure saving, year after year. And to go again on the aestheticism, it is important to understand that we are hidden into the engine room. So it means that we are not touching to the aspect, the aestheticism of a boat, not like, for example, a solar panel. So what is very important to understand, 3 points very important to understand, is that we are selling a product that can be around 5 to 50K, it depends on the size of the boat, and it will be paid for itself in 1 or 2 years. And we are reducing CO2 emissions by adding our product to the existing engine. It is very important to understand, this is most important to understand, is that we are not touching into the existing engine. We are just adding something more that can reduce CO2 emissions by giving some electricity, for example, to some component of the boat. So, as you can see, this is a project that has taken his full meaning for us. Since we are kids, we always wanted to create, to innovate. And we wanted to get an impact. We wanted to get an impact on what really matters to us. This is our future. The environment is a part of our future. And thanks to that, we had the opportunity to get some help from our school, the University of Technology of Troyes. With the UTT, we get the help from professors, researchers. They help us refine our technology. And because of this unique environment, Q-Energy is where it stands today. And you'll tell me, where does it stand today? In fact, today we already have taken some action, because we have several prototypes, as you can see here, that can help us understand the Stirling engine, his secret. After that, we are developing a more developed product, a more developed system that we can test on a real boat. Because we have a goal. Our goal is to fill our patent by the end of 2026. And of course, for that, we have to pass by the POC experimentation, our proof of concept. Like I said before, we already have several prototypes. We know the Stirling, and we are developing a more powerful product. And for that, we are in September opening an engineering office. An engineering office where we will develop our product, test it, improve it, and most important, test it on a real boat. Of course, we live in Troyes. And Troyes, to give you an idea, it's a town in the north of France. There is no boat in Troyes. There is no boat. But not so far, we have the Seine River. And we had the opportunity to get a total access to our own floating laboratory, an 80-meter container barge, where we will test our product, improve it, and fill our patent by the end of 2026 with our engineering office. And you'll tell me, the market. The market is here. Because only the barge, on the Seine River, this is 900 barges. And also, this is 900 owners that, let's be honest, don't really have the means to pay for new technology, to change an engine. Change an engine, it's very expensive. That's where Q-Energy comes in. Because by adding something that can reduce their consumption, we can reduce CO2 emissions into this market. And at an European scale, it will be around 200,000 container barge. And of course, there is other market where we can have a big impact. And there is also the market we want to go for sure in the future. It's the yacht industry. But to go much more further, we can also implement ourselves in other sectors. Like, for example, in the forge industries, because there is a lot of heat that are wasted and that we can recover. So, as you can see, we are in research and development phase, and it will take time. It will take time and also money. And we know that. We are aware of that. And also, it is complicated for us to develop a precise business model. But we already have some real path, to go to implement our product into the market. For example, when we will have our patent, we can do licensing. We can license our patents and give it to major group, like for example, CMA CGM, in the maritime transport. But also, we can industrialize our solution and sell it to customers like yacht or container barge. So, and also, to give you an idea about the market of container barge, the 900 container barge on the Seine River represents €1 million potential in the market. And at an European scale, of course, it will be around billions. Everything I said today isn't just word for us, because it is what drives us every day. Because we want to get an impact on our future, your future, through the maritime transport, what is passionate us. So we have mentors, we have professors, we have a team, we have persons that are following us, that believe in us. And we believe in you. In us, sorry. But, sorry, we believe in us. And this is our strength. And we are just getting started. So to finish our presentation, I want to describe Q-Energy with one sentence. Q-Energy drives a green maritime revolution through innovation and efficiency. Thank you for your attention. Sorry.
So, do we have some questions on the stage? One there.
So yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. It was very clear. Maybe my question is more about, so you're two in your project. What makes you stand out? What is your specialty that makes you like unique and that not two other people maybe would take the same idea and apply the same concept?
Hi, well, we are two mechanical engineers in the UTT. We are building a team at the UTT, an engineering office made up like 6 to 7 students and also teachers. What makes our solution innovative is that we are using not a classical styling technology. We are using a technology that is only used now in space and in submarine. So it's not a classic thermodynamic system. And on top of that, in space and in submarines, they are using combustible, and we are using only renewable energy. So this is the really innovative point of our project.
And also to add something, the Stirling engine, we are not using a real Stirling engine. We are inspired by this technology, and we have created our own geometry and have some idea, but I can show because for some reason of protection. But that's why.
Do we have other questions? Yes.
For me, it's not really clear where the energy that you recover from the heat, where in a battery, in a secondary propulsion system, or where? Yeah, but because the energy, electrical energy, to power a secondary electrical propulsion system, in that case, how big to move the entire boat, or only for small movement?
Just to show you, this is the engine where we are working with, and we are adding our system to the exhaust gases because they can reach 400 to 500 degrees in a boat. That is a lot, and this is where we will be the more efficient. And we are installing in a way to recover the maximum of heat. And again, this is a technology we have think about, but in the presentation like that, this is we want to protect our technology. So since we don't have a patent, we cannot really describe, but you can imagine.
The last one.
Yes, no, just here. This is the engine of a boat in more miniature way, and this is the exhaust gases. And we are installing here. There is a 7 steering engine, and this is how we are doing it.
But I think the question is, okay, you're creating electricity, basically. Yeah. And then how do you reuse the electricity?
Yeah, that is directly going to the battery. In fact, there is an alternator with the boat, and the goal is to not use this alternator because he makes the efficiency of the boat of the engine lower and lower. So if we are just adding something that don't touch the engine, we are making the efficiency much better.
I will be able to help you answering a better way. Do we have other questions? Okay, that's the last one from the students. The next one will be from the jury.
So I'm really interested in your concept, okay? I will not dive into IP protection or anything else. What is your estimated efficiency for your system? Since it's based on, at the end, reciprocating motor, okay? Like the Stirling engine, the recuperating technology started from there, and then there was expanders like turbines, etc., that have right now a better efficiency than reciprocating engines. So what is your estimated efficiency in your technology?
To give you an idea, we get the existing engine. It works with a 30% efficiency. In theory, Stirling engine like us will work with a 50% efficiency. It's what we target with our test in the laboratory with an artificial sources. That's why we want to test our solution not with an artificial source, but with a real-world source, this engine. And I think we can reach like 30 to 40% of efficiency. That means that the existing engine will go to 30 to 60%. That we can. It explains that we get to the double of the efficiency that it will be in the beginning. So to resume, we get an engine that is 30% efficient, and with our solution, we can make it to 60%. So we can double, in theory, the efficiency.
Okay, do you remember? Do we have a question? Yes.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I think it was very interesting, quite good. Just a question, it's 100 years we are making now thermal combustion engine. What you are presenting now, it's like a revolution, everything is looking for 100 years. Could you please, once again, not being into details regarding patent and so on, because I am developing also technology myself, so I know everything about confidentiality, but what's your technology, or what's innovation in your technology that allows you to do this, and why it has not been used so far?
I think that the Stirling engine is not really used today, so we start to explore how to use it, and the idea of using renewable energy is not an idea that we see today. So I think the real innovation is to use Stirling engine and renewable energy. But as you know, the thermodynamic cycle are really difficult when you want to go outside the border, when you want to go outside the classical cycle. So the real difficulty is to build a motor that is working with not classical source of energy. So this is the real innovation.
Yeah. So if sorry.
Maybe to.
No, wait. I have some points. So first, you need to explain that all the future yacht, boat, whatever, even the boat on the river, they will have a hybrid solution. So forget about the alternator. Think about storing into the battery. That's the most important one. The second one, you need to define what it is a Stirling engine. I don't know, but I think just 20% of the jury member know what's the Stirling engine. And why the Stirling engine is just happening now? Because we just see some new generator with good efficiency arriving on the market since 5 to 10 years. And in fact, the Stirling engine was presenting in Monaco in 1904, so more than 100 years ago. So that's something a bit crazy, but it's just happening now. And now that's some key point for you in the presentation. Now, an important question for the awards. We have to understand the link with an university. You know, this awards is not here to pay a creation of a startup. We are funding a university. We need to know the use case and the use of those funds.
In the university, first, in September, we are opening our engineering office. There is also already like 6 engineers that will work directly in September on our product. The goal is to install our system in the boat. And also we have a laboratory that is called LASMIS. This is a mechanical laboratory, and there will be also some researchers that will refine our technology. We have imagined a new geometry for our Stirling, and the goal is that theoretically researchers can go further than us because we don't really have all the skills and knowledge, but they will test our technology, our theory, so the student can go and make the products real. That is the real impact of our university. And
thank you for the presentation. I have a bit more technical question, even if I'm not an expert. From you, just looking at your illustration, it's heat recovery based. So you need surface of exchange. And just in your illustration, I see that the stack of Stirling engine is probably...
it's a little bit small.
It's an illustration, but
yes.
I understand that you need a lot of surface of exchange to get as much as possible of the heat.
Yeah, but also the Stirling engine, it is working with pressure. So if you put like more pressure, you can do more power, but with a surface that is smaller. Or today, there is some Stirling engine. Most of it are in the space. They are using like 150 bar. So we can use a smaller surface, but put like more pressure in the Stirling, so we can go further, have more power.
I understand. But what's the average ratio between the engine size, the ICE engine size, towards the Stirling recovery system?
For our motor, for example, we want to recover the waste heat from the exhaust gases, and the exhaust gases, it is around a diameter of 30 centimeters, and we hope we can, the boat give us total access, so we already tell them we will cut a little bit from the exhaust gases, so we can directly recover from the gases, the heat.
Now, I'm considering this as also for retrofits and for new build as well. Of course, for me, it looks very big, and you're pushing, saying that it's not taking space. Engine rooms are already full of systems and everything, so just as I have no idea about the real life size of this thing, the compromise. So if you can give
an idea of the size,
yes,
it will be one module. It will be like that. I hope. Yeah,
okay.
It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say because we have the theory, but we want to go further. So
that will be interesting for us as a shipyard.
Yeah, I know.
The ratio between
the fact is that we hope
power you will get from the volume that it's needed.
But we hope we can like manage the size. It will depend on the boat. The size of our module will depend on the length of the boat. But we know for the container barge, because we are preparing our system for this this environment, and the size will be. The size will be like a 90 centimeters diameter. This diameter is 90 centimeters. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if.
It's just an idea of ratio.
Yeah.
Volume to power.
But yeah.
I think it's really difficult for us to say that to you today because we know the ratio for artificial sources, so when it's perfect. And this challenge, for example, will give us the chance to test it in a real condition. This condition will help us to know what is the efficiency of our motor and what parameter we can play with. And with that, we can give you the best ratio. So if you give us the chance, maybe when the prototype will be prepared, we can give you the idea. But what I can say more is that a good point of the Sterling engine is we can really play on the geometry. So if we get room in a different way, we can transform the engine and create an engine depending on the size we have.
I'm just asking because that was one of your arguments.
Yeah, I understand.
The technology, but if you have no idea about the size, which I understand at this stage you cannot define, yeah, it's okay. But then that cannot be an argument.
But yeah, we heard you.
Very good seller.
But just to add something more, we have our theoretical model. We just have to put, for example, the length of the boat, the size we have. So we have like a code. I think we say like that. A code that can shape the engine that we will put in the boat, depending on the size, etc.
Thank you.
But the technology is the same for everything.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I have one question. Have you compared the energy you produce with the battery needs?
What?
Have you compared the energy, the electricity that you produce with your systems with the battery needs? Because if I understand well, you inject directly the electricity in the battery, but what if the battery is already full? Have you think about another use if in this case?
In the future, because today our scale it is difficult, but I know that in the future I will do that. It's to make our engine with directly the I don't know how to say it, Villebrequin.
But with the engine?
Yeah, with the engine, but what? The shaft, yes, exactly. Today we don't want to break their engine, so we will not test our system with the shaft, but in the future we want to do that.
Okay, so the energy will go direct to improve the efficiency of the engine, right?
Yeah, okay. But also to add something again. Just in the future there will be new fuels, hydrogen, and there is also wasted heat, so we can be implemented in the future with new technology, of course. But today we want to implement on what is existing now.
Thank you, gentlemen. Just last, but that's very important for the jury member because that's part of the rules. Could you give us an idea about the TRL number of your product?
The what?
The TRL. I don't know, TRL is the development maturity, the development phase of your product.
Yeah. So, if I understand, we have built several prototypes on laboratory with, like the first one you see on the left. Now, this is a CAD version of the new prototype we want to make. We want to start now the production of this prototype with the money of the different competition we are doing. The idea is to have this prototype at the end of the year.
That's okay.
And after.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Sorry, Lilou. Sorry, Lilou. So we took some time, only a question from the jury member for the next one. Sorry for that. Huh?
Okay, thank you, University of Technology of Troyes, for this very inspiring presentation. I would now like to welcome Università di Bologna to the stage, please.
Thank you very much.
sorry. I think. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being here. But first of all, thank you for hosting us again in this on this beautiful stage to show you. And today I'm really excited to show you what our prototype of last year began after 1 year of hard work. What is Competre? Competre is, first of all, a group of students and professors and researchers from the University of Bologna, and we have a product. Our product is the first electric outboard motor featuring counter-rotating and tractor propellers. It's literally born for the competition and built for the future, because we have a mission that is to protect our seas from the local pollution. And we think that our breakthrough system can really help this crucial battle to be won. What are our value propositions? Competre is performing, highly performing, and it delivers the thrust of a 40 horsepower motor while weighing less than a typical 10 horsepower one. And then the range, which is the weakness of electric systems so far. And with our technology, we can increase the range up to 45% with respect to other electric systems which are already on the market of the same weight and performance. And to reach those performance, we use ultra lightweight materials, composite materials, and aluminum alloys to deliver the best weight to power ratio in the world for electric outboards. So let's go deep into the heart of our innovation, which is the Competre motor unit. At just 22 kilograms, it integrates dual tractor propellers for maximum thrust and stability. They spin in opposite direction, so that the second propeller recovers the energy lost by the first one, by the rotation of the first one. And then we use carbon fiber to keep the weight to a minimum. And the shape of the ogive that includes also an air cooling and lubrication system improve hydrodynamics. In addition, we deliver a trimmable bracket and an hydraulic steering for seamless control and precise maneuvers. You can feel it if you want to try it. It's on the deck. The maneuvers are truly bubbleless without cavitation nor ventilation. Also thanks to the tractor configuration that allow always the propeller to work in a clean water flow. But why do us students and professors work relentlessly days and nights for 1 whole year to shave off 1 gram of weight, to increase the speed note after note? Because we have a vision which is imagining a future where every lake, bay, and coast is populated by silent and high performance and sustainable boats. How is this possible, and how can we reach such an ambitious goal? We think that only really improving the performance of electric systems, you can really compete with other fossil fuel engines to feel the same fun and adrenaline as other internal combustion engines. And we think that electric engines not only should coexist with fossil fuel engines, but they should really replace them for the application for small to medium-sized boats. That's why we are taking care a lot also about the business. We have a business model that is considering the B2B side. We target boat manufacturers that will introduce our system in their fleet to start and selling electric outboards, electric vessels, I'm always talking about from 3 to 7 meters ribs or other small vessels. And on the B2C side, we target yacht owners with their tenders, water sports enthusiasts, and competition teams. Maybe next year it will be available also for other teams at the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge 2026. How can we reach this perfect on the paper business model? Thanks to our partner, thanks first of all to the University of Bologna, who believes in our project and will participate in the spin-off that we are establishing here in Monaco. And thanks to all the other partners who believe in us, who has been sponsoring throughout all these years our participation here in the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge. Addressing both B2B and B2C side, we think that we are pretty complete because we can extend our reach addressing the boat manufacturers, but also receive very important feedbacks from the clients that will directly buy our motor from our site. And we did several market research, and as you can see, the electric outboard motor market is a niche, a little niche, but we are not afraid about that because we think we can go in competition with other fossil fuel engines that are on the market for the same application. That's why we are addressing the total market, which reaches up to 10 billion euros per year. What has been our path so far? As you may know, we participate here in the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge in the energy class since 5 years ago, and with the historical Uniboat team. Firstly, we used commercial solutions for our outboards that felt like they were not performing to win all the competition, the increasing competition in this game, and this was the thrust and the momentum we gained to design our own model. Last year, after designing our model, after receiving very nice feedbacks, we decided to apply to the Monaco Tech Incubator, where we won the place, this very important place, where we are mentored by the Monaco Tech community to improve our business model. And then at the start of this year, we won a very important prize, which is the best entrepreneurial project of the Emilia-Romagna of 2025. And this will fuel, of course, our rush to the market, thanks to the funding we won, but also to the visibility we gained. And today, we are here with not only this demonstrator, but with 2 working demonstrators on 2 different categories in this race. On your right, you see the historical Uniboat team that mounted Competre this year for the first time, reaching maximum speed no one had never seen in this competition. And on the left, you see the Red Wave team in the Syllab class that we started this new project with the university in order to prove that our motor not only can outstand in the energy class compared to other electric solutions, but is also versatile and can be mounted on several types of ribs. And yeah, they're down there, so I invite you to go and see them and maybe also try them. Now I leave the floor to Professor Nicolò Cavina that will speak a little bit about the future roadmap. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to you all, and thanks for this opportunity also from my side. I would like to stress the fact that our initial results are very promising under every point of view. I think we showed something about them. In a life cycle simulation that we performed using Marine Shift software, Compiter's all-electric outboard motors already shows roughly 40% reduction in CO2 emissions compared to a 40 horsepower petrol engine that is available on the market. We took the Suzuki model, just not to mention one. On top of that, we all know that going electric means we are cancelling polluting emissions like HCs, COs, and NOx and particulate matter. This is a strong start, we believe, even before our planned improvements that are the ones I will be talking about in the next slides. Because it shows that electric powertrains are inherently cleaner, but it also demonstrates that going and looking for lightweight and efficiency not only allows us reaching performance, but it also has a strong impact on reducing the environmental footprint. Importantly, the simulation also highlighted the two remaining gaps that we would like to fill. Critical material resources use and total energy consumption. And these are exactly the areas we are now targeting to meet the Foundation's values. Winning this award would be a major catalyst. The 25,000 euros prize will directly fund the next research and development phase to reduce Compiter's environmental footprint even further without compromising performance. Specifically, we will accelerate development of sodium-ion batteries and natural fibers with thermoplastic resins, both of which will cut resource use dramatically. To go beyond current gains, we are actually integrating sustainable materials. Our internal forecasts show that replacing lithium in batteries and carbon fiber in structures with sodium-ion cells and thermoflex composites could cut use of scarce mineral resources by about 76%. In practical terms, by switching to abundant plant-based and sodium-based components, Compiter's life cycle footprint can drop to nearly match that of a combustion engine, while still running on clean electricity. This leap comes from two threads. By replacing traditional lithium-ion with sodium chemistry, we avoid mining rare cobalt, nickel, manganese materials, and biocomposites are renewable and much lower in embodied carbon. There is more. On top of drastically reducing the use of scarce mineral resources, the adoption of such technologies has a very strong impact on the energy needed for producing batteries and structures, as shown by the simulation performed using Marine Shift software and internal elaborations. Total energy consumption for producing Compiter components will improve by about 38%. The bottom line is that next generation Compiter will literally significantly save more energy and reduce the use of scarce materials, closing the remaining gap with a petrol engine. Our choice is fully informed by all the pros and cons we will face as a result of these studies. Sodium-ion cells use abundant, widely distributed materials. Sodium is cheap, and as a result, sodium batteries can be 20–30% cheaper at scale. They're also intrinsically safer. Sodium cells use non-flammable electrolytes, greatly reducing thermal runaway hazards, and this makes our future power packs less likely to catch fire. There are also negative aspects, because today sodium-ion energy density is lower, but we will see an improvement because the technology is not mature yet. Same thing for flex and thermofibers, because there are pros and cons apart from the environmental impact. We have already tested the technology, we are familiar with it. The cockpit of our uniboat vessel is made of flex fiber, but on the other hand, flex fibers are hydrophilic, so we need to improve the process to avoid this issue, and at the same time, they will be inevitably heavier than carbon fiber. So, to conclude with the remaining seconds, we will build and test Compiter prototypes with advanced sodium-ion cells. We will develop flex basalt laminates, and we are forecasting to produce and certify a final prototype. In conclusion, Compiter stands at the intersection of cutting-edge engineering and environmental stewardship. we have high TRL, field-tested product that already delivers unmatched efficiency and a clear path to make it even greener. Thank you for your attention, and we're looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, and congratulations for the job done and the very, very good and clear presentation. Do we have some question? On the jury only, yeah?
Hi, yeah, thank you for that. That was a really great presentation. I have a quick question about, you mentioned some of the kinds of boats that you're going to be targeting, generally leisure, marine, sporting organisations, this kind of thing. Have you done any studies to understand what those duty cycles are so that you can see the impact in the production phase over the lifetime usage of those vessels? Because there's going to be a huge variation in that. I was wondering if you've had a think at all about which of those vessels you're likely to be targeting the most and how long it's likely to be that payback period on your sort of carbon footprint.
I think for the life cycle assessment, we consider 2,000 hours of usage of the motor, which means the normal amount of hour for those kind of targets we have. And thanks to our boat manufacturer that supplied our rib, we can also have more data on the use of those ribs. For example, he sells ribs to sailing teams. The coach who are following the sailing teams have a certain amount of hour of usage, which is much higher of the use of, for example, a rib, which is for leisure boat. A leisure boat can literally go out around 20 hours per year, and that's why we made an average for now. But I think we have several data to consider, and of course, the more massive is the use, the more is the impact, environmental impact. Thanks also to extended life cycle of sodium batteries. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, I think in general it would be really good to have that statistics of when you'd recommend an electric motor. So what you would say if you approach a customer, this is the amount we want you to be using a year in order for this to be the most environmental option for you. And if you've got that data, it's really interesting to see, and I think that, yeah, would be a great addition to your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have plenty of questions, but we are rushed on time, and you made an amazing presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Università di Bologna, for once again a great presentation. Now let's welcome TU Delft to the stage.
Hello everyone, my name is Oliver. I am the team manager of the TU Delft Hydromotion team. Our team has been coming here for more than 10 years now. But for those who don't know us, I will explain something about our team and our history with sustainable energies. We are the Hydromotion team, a team located in Delft, from the TU Delft in the Netherlands. Our team consists of 25 students from various engineering backgrounds. And the unique thing about our team is that it renews every year, giving us new perspective and new ideas every year. But we are united by one thing, and that is that we design, build, and race boats powered by sustainable and innovative solutions. I will take you through our history. We started out in 2005. proving the potential of solar energy. And I think we and everyone in the room can say that solar energy has proven its potential. There are so many solar panels on rooftops, boats, and cars that we can say that the technology has evolved immensely. In 2019, we won right here in Monaco, using a foiling boat powered by solar energy. But our victory also marked a step in the history of our foundation. We wanted to do something new. So in 2020, we took a bold step. As you might see, we reused the mold and the hull of the previous year, that one here. But there was one important change. Instead of relying on solar energy, we implemented a hydrogen system, relying fully on energy created by hydrogen through a fuel cell. And this innovation gave us victory also right here in 2023 at the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, competing in the open sea class, competing against companies that had made electric boats. But our team, consisting of only students, won this by using hydrogen. Last year, we unfortunately couldn't join the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge because we thought of a different challenge for ourselves. Since we won here in 2023, we thought it was time for a different challenge. We wanted to show the world that hydrogen can also be powering seaworthy vessels. So how did we show this? We were the first hydrogen-powered boat to cross the North Sea. With bigger waves than here on the Mediterranean, we showed that hydrogen can also power bigger boats and boats that can withstand bigger waves. So I've told you a lot about what we've been doing in the past years. Now I will tell you what we've been doing for the last few months, in the last year. Because this year we've taken another bold step. After only using hydrogen for a few years, we figured it was already time to take the next step. We decided to design, build, and test a liquid hydrogen-powered foiling boat. Now you might wonder, why are you saying the same thing, a hydrogen-powered foiling boat? Well, it's not. It's totally different. With liquid hydrogen, there's new challenges, but also a lot of room for improvement compared to compressed hydrogen. Here you can see our custom-built cryogenic tank. There's a lot of different challenges and improvements that we are making by using this beautiful tank. One of the most important challenges is our heat management. Now, I don't know if you know this, probably not, but liquid hydrogen has a temperature of minus 253 degrees, 20 degrees above absolute zero. So how do we keep it this cold? And how do we warm it up and use it to pass through a fuel cell? Well, we've made a vacuum-jacketed double-wall tank. What does that mean, you might ask? It means that there is an inner tank made of stainless steel, which holds the liquid hydrogen. Around it is a layer of a total vacuum. And around that is the outer tank, which means that it gives us a lot of less heat ingress. Because one of the challenges with liquid hydrogen is the boil-off. This means that the liquid hydrogen is naturally evaporating and building up pressure in the tank. But by having a vacuum layer around the inner tank, we minimize this. The next challenge of using liquid hydrogen is using it at normal temperatures to pass through a fuel cell. You might be thinking of heaters or anything else that might be using extra electricity and energy to do this, but we don't. We use the rest heat of our fuel cell to warm up our liquid hydrogen, build up the pressure so it can go through our fuel cell. The rest heat of our fuel cell goes through a heat exchanger with water, with demi-water, and then we take it through to the tank and we heat up the hydrogen from inside. With the hydrogen heating up, it also higher the pressure. And thanks to our pressure buildup unit, once the pressure is at the desired operating pressure, the hydrogen is let out and passes through our fuel cell, where it goes through our natural means of producing electricity, which is through a fuel cell, and then we get electricity that we can use for our buffer or our motor. But we're a student team, so we can't only focus on one thing. We keep wanting to innovate. That's where our hydrofoils come in. It's something we, as a foundation, are very proud of, as we've been doing it for quite some time. Hydrofoils allow us to reduce our energy use by almost 50%. We use the same amount of energy while we're going 40 kilometers an hour and foiling as we use when we are going 23 kilometers an hour while we're not foiling. These are immense changes. And this year, we've also made some changes to this. You might not be able to see it on this picture, as this is unfortunately the rear foil. But on the front two foils, we've made some differences in our means to produce the foils. Instead of using inserts, where there's aluminium in the foils, we are using outserts, which means that they wrap around the foil, and it allowed us to produce the foils twice as fast compared to last year. Now, we've also introduced flux fiber. This is a fiber that is a lot more sustainable than carbon fiber. So we've been using this and testing this to see where we can replace carbon fiber with flex fiber. This is a plant and is a lot more sustainable than carbon. Now, there's not a lot of things made with flux fiber yet, so we don't have a lot of numbers and stuff, but we've integrated into a part of the hull, so we can do some more research and maybe use of it more next year. Well, here's a beautiful picture of our foiling boat. You might be wondering, what are we going to do should we win the grant? What will we do? What are the next steps we're going to take? Now, it's not up to me. As a new team that will join us in August, we'll be responsible for that. But in our multiple year plan of our foundation, there's two things that we are focusing on. And one is to reduce the amount of volume to maximize the amount of power, to maximize our efficiency and range. With liquid hydrogen, we can showcase that it's feasible for bigger ships than compressed hydrogen and battery-powered boats. Liquid hydrogen has a much higher energy density than compressed hydrogen. Hydrogen at 350 bars is 3 times less energy dense than liquid hydrogen. So if we switch to liquid hydrogen, we could implement this in bigger ships, cargo ships. Now you might think that this is very far away, but luckily the energy observer is right below us. This is a boat powered by solar energy and hydrogen. But they have a new project coming up. In 2029, they want to have the first liquid hydrogen-powered cargo vessel. And luckily, we're here in Monaco, because yesterday there was also the only liquid hydrogen-powered yacht right here in the Bay of Monaco. People and everyone in the industry want to innovate. We want to be more sustainable. But in the end, we need to reduce our CO2 emissions almost completely. So there's a lot of options out there that reduce what we have now, but they won't be enough. At some point, we need to be carbon neutral, and we need to find solutions that can do this. And for us, that lies in liquid hydrogen. So here's another beautiful picture. Unfortunately, we don't have liquid hydrogen on board right now. We have tested the system completely in the Netherlands. The tank is integrated into the boat. And I invite you and encourage you to come to where our boat is and see this beautiful, innovative system. But for next year, we know and we hope that we will sail here in Monaco using liquid hydrogen. And I'm not the one that can decide this, but there's some hope. Thank you so much.
Do you remember, do we have some question?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this excellent presentation. I have one question about the scalability of the cryogenic tank. How would you foresee it?
Yeah, of course, that's a very good question. So liquid hydrogen is actually a more scalable solution than compressed hydrogen, because the use of liquid hydrogen actually becomes better when the volume compared to its surface area increases. I've told you something about the natural boil-off, but when we introduce bigger tanks in bigger ships, this becomes less of a problem because you have a lot more volume to keep it cold, basically. So if you introduce it into bigger ships, then the performance of the tank actually becomes better.
It's thanks to the volume, basically. Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
It's thanks to the volume.
Yeah, so thanks to the volume compared to the surface area. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The question is a bit related. You mentioned the ratio of power density compared to compressed hydrogen, but you compare it in terms of volume of hydrogen. But what's the volume of the tank? Because the problem is the second skin of the tank, which takes more volume than a single skin tank pressurized hydrogen.
Yeah, so
I say,
yeah.
Tank volume to tank volume, that would be the interesting ratio.
So I don't have a picture here right now, but we have a 7.8 kilos liquid hydrogen tank that's about 110 liters. And we have a 8.4 kilo compressed hydrogen tank, which is 350 liters. So that's triple. So it's in that range.
So it's 3 times, but
yeah.
That's including the
the
overall tank.
Yeah, so the outer tank is not that much bigger than the inner tank. Like the layer between is not that big.
As I am working on hydrogen and on Energy Observer, congratulations, because we know how it is difficult to build such a boat. So congratulations for what you have done, and looking forward to see you in the industry to push forward this technology. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And lastly, we can welcome Politecnico di Milano to the stage.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Who here is passionate about competition and power boating? Well, I think most of you are, since Monaco Boat Challenge is based on those 2 principles. But let's take a step back. Back in the days, power boating was booming, and team built new prototype each year, testing new solutions, new ideas that now shape the boat of today. But now things are really different because some harbors, but also some lakes decide to restrict the use of internal combustion engine. And so also the numbers of racers has dropped. And altogether also the number of sponsors, teams, and opportunity for young talents. As shown, some format as A1 series has shown how electrification can bring back to life some sports. But despite this, many other categories are still struggling to come back to life. The electric outboard motor market is highly polarized. As we can see from the slide, there is a compact solution up to 30 kilowatts. They are really light, affordable, but too weak to compete for racing. On the other side, we can see that we have a EV duty system with a lot of power, like over 90 kilowatts. They are really powerful, but too light, too heavy, too complex, and too expensive. So between these two solutions, we have a big market gap. And this is where we want to work. This is where Marino comes in. We have designed this motor to fill this gap. And this is Marino, an high-performance electric outboard that can deliver high performance and can deliver up to 60 kilowatt at just 35 kilograms.
Okay, let's now focus about Marino technical aspects. At the core of Marino motor, there is a modular pod. So key components such as the fin can be replaced in a few seconds for easy repairs. Thank you. Our pushing propellers are placed behind the rudder to protect them from debris and avoid mechanical failures. They can be mounted in different configurations. For example, we can either have counter-rotating or single propellers based on the needs of customers. We have an anti-cavitational plate that can be removed if needed, and an adjustable shaft that can be adjusted in height in order to make the boat able to navigate different water conditions. Moreover, we have an adaptable gearbox that's allowed customers to choose their electric motor and be more flexible, so they don't have to stick to just one electric motor producer. To get the most out of it, we're also implementing an efficiency tool systems that, based on the power parts mounted in our configurations, it delivers the final efficiency of the whole powertrain systems so that we can fine-tuning the motor to get the best out of it. Let's now take a closer look into the Marino electrical architecture. Marino is built around a 96 voltage systems. Why 96 voltage? Well, basically because it gives the best balance between power and safety, while still being considered low voltage. You might be wondering why, since it sounds like the best options, we don't see it often in the maritime world. Well, basically just because the higher the voltage, the higher the safety required. So this is harder to implement for customers, harder to produce for manufacturers, and we'll end up with in general, higher costs. So what's our idea? Our idea is to develop our own 96 voltage system, battery systems, to get a truly plug-and-play system that can be easy to implement, that will offer the opportunity to customers to get rid about the bureaucracy behind implementation, so that they can just focus about performances without having to worry about regulations, basically. All those features come together into two versions of Marino. We have Marino Racing and Marino Performances. Marino Racing is characterized by carbon fiber, high-strength steel for gears and shaft, and can deliver a maximum of 60 kilowatt with just 35 kilograms. On the other hand, we have Marino Performance with an output power of 30 kilowatt with a weight of only 40 kilograms. Okay, now I'd like to touch on sustainability. Marino is not just about cutting emissions, but it's also about using resources in a smarter way. All the components are modular and designed to be disassembled to be reused and easier to recycle. If our tool system, for example, doesn't show that a configuration is not reaching fully potential, the components are not thrown away, they are just reassigned as all the components are fully interchangeable. For example, a rudder that is not optimal for racing configurations might be perfect for leisure use. That allowed Marino to what the final result? Same distance, less energy, better performance, with lower impact. That shows that Marino is not just efficient on water, but throughout the whole life cycle. Okay, now that we have the technical features clearer, it's important to see where we sit into the market and how we compare to existing alternatives. Currently, the electric marine propulsion sector is growing fast. Right now is estimated to be between 4 to 5 billions of euros, but is expected to grow up to 12 billions of euros with a growing rate of around 10% per year. Our focus within these sectors is pretty clear. We're focusing on electric outboard sold in Europe in a range of power from 15 to 60 kilowatts. This is our service available market. However, in the short term, we are targeting a smaller slice of that. That is our serviceable obtainable market, estimated to be around 1.5 to 3.5 millions of euros. Okay, now, how do we compete to existing alternatives? Marino, as I said before, is able to deliver up to 60 kilowatts while with just 35 kilograms. And we'll have a final engineered price of around 28,000 to 30,000 euros. That aligns perfectly with top tiers electric alternatives, but with a higher weight to power ratio. On the other hand, while comparing to combustion and alternatives, we are aware that in general electrical solutions are way more expensive. However, when comparing the performance per kilograms, we are pretty aligned with these kind of systems. Okay. Okay, now that the market is clear, let's ground that vision in where we are and where we're going to. Currently, over the last year, we designed, built, and tested our first functional prototype that is currently mounted on our boat, ready to compete at the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge. In winter 2025, we're dividing our development in two. On one hand, we have the refinement on the manufacturing of Marino, while developing in parallel our 96 voltage systems. In summer 2026, we'll come back to water with prototypes, both from the racing and the performance versions of Marino. And the goal is to achieve all the certifications, ISO and RINA, by the end of 2026. In order to be able, in 2027, to merge together Marino's motor and Marino's battery in a fully certified system, ready to be launched in commerce. Our plan is also to come back to Monaco, this time in the C-Lab categories, to showcase Marino's wider potential. Now that we highlighted our roadmap, it's fair to explain how the grant would help us to take the next step. We estimated that overall, to enter the market, Marino would require around 1 million euros. This money are mostly needed to finalize the engineering and produce our first 50 products. Those 50 products will allow us to unlock economies of scale in order to be competitive, especially with the combustion alternative in terms of cost. However, for now, to kickstart production, we are seeking a pre-seed of around 20,000 euros. So the grant won't be able to cover for everything, but right now it would act as a crucial catalyst, because even a small push, if well-timed, can really help us to move forward in our project. Okay, so we introduced you both the plan and the product, so it's fair now to introduce the team that is behind this project. We are 3 mechanical engineers currently finishing our master's degree at Politecnico di Milano. Our journey started within Physis, a student team, where we didn't just build a prototype, but we combined hands-on engineering with shared missions, that is, develop sustainable technologies for the maritime world. And Marino is our way to turning this shared passion into a long-term commitment that goes beyond the university project. So, I'm glad that we presented you Marino. Our mission is to electrify competition while supporting the powerboating, as we said before, in particular the younger categories of powerboating. In general, it's this mission, we really believe in supporting the youth, and also more people believe in us and support us in this journey. We have the FIM, the Italian Federation of Powerboating, that is supporting this project. And at the same time, we're already doing that by collaborating with YouthLink, a platform that delivers a workshop to younger students about engineering concept to help them with the technical side. Well, I'll just take a few seconds to thank you all today for your attention. In particular, I want to thank the Energy Boat Challenge, the whole organization, of the Yacht Club, the Fédération Prince Albert II for this opportunity, all our sponsors and the team and the FIM, without which the whole project wouldn't have been possible. And again, you all for your time.
Do we have any questions for Politecnico di Milano?
So, I got one question. So, we've seen 2 very similar products, okay, in this speech session, okay. And the one question that I want to ask you is, they are very similar, okay. And as an investor, what I would choose is the project that aims to protect as much as IP contents on his whole package. So the question I'm asking is, how do you plan to protect? What are you trying to develop as your own and not sourced technologies?
Okay, so about the IP protection that we are working on, we are definitely trying to protect the shape of the pod that we design through some CFD optimization. We are also trying to protect with some patent the transmission, and also the most important part of the transmission, that is the gearbox, which is above the pod, that can allow us to be compatible with different type of engines, which make us very flexible and also scalable for competition, but also for the commerce use in general.
Do we have any other questions? Juries?
Thank you very much for this presentation. I have one question. I really like the idea of the modularity. Does it mean you are forcing a warranty scheme for replacement parts in your project? Like an engine supplier, if a part is broken, you need to replace it. Do you have a replacement scheme?
Yes, actually, all the parts, as I said, can be fully interchangeable. So yes, we will provide, in general, to customers the possibility to replace broken parts or just change the configuration if needed. For example, I know it's not really the focus of the question, but I take this opportunity to say that let's imagine a client buy the performance kit, but then wants to expand it to the racing one. He doesn't have to rebuy the whole product, but can just buy kits to implement from one version to the other. And that's also the same for broken parts or for the efficiency configuration they want to reach or the needs in general. It's very modular. It's based on the requirements from the who uses the product, and also the budget they want to spend on our product.
Thank you. I'm going to bounce back on this. I've got another question. Is if, for example, if you're thinking about an upgrade, if this thought through with this replacement part or modularity part?
Yeah, I don't know if I understand the question right, but if I go back to the two versions of the engine, they are based on they are both built on the same base, so we can change the performance into the racing or the racing into the performance by just changing the parts. So you buy a kit and then you can multiply basically the power of the whole engine.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I would like to thank all the teams for coming and pitching your innovations to us, and the jury members for being here. To all the students, we do have a little cocktail party down in the meeting room for the e-championships and the gaming simulator. We would like you to join if you're available. Thank you to everyone for being present, and I'll see you on site.